doing good. I'm so happy to be here.
Yay. So we have half an hour. How can I help?
A couple of weeks ago, I changed my niche to running moms. It's already going so much better.
Oh, good.
Like, it just feels so aligned, and I don't feel like I can just be like myself completely. I was before, but now I don't feel like I have to like pull people from the weeds.
Amazing.
Yeah. So that feels really good. I got a new client this week.
Nice.
And I have 4 calls already booked without the new webinar even. So
nice. That's so good. I'm so happy to hear it.
I'm getting way more engagement, people coming to even like random pop-up workshops that I'm doing. And I tried this before with my like previous niche to run a nugget of the program. So it was like 4 weeks. I just grabbed content from like one of the lessons, and it was low ticket offer to see if it would give people a taste. If they wanted to join the program, they could just minus that cost.
You could do that, sure. I think you can have it as an option. I think you can do it as a summer special where it's like work with me for 4 weeks. And then if you want to stay on and do the full thing, I'll credit you the difference. A summer special. And then that way you can take it away if it doesn't work or if people aren't ascending into the other program. You can always bring it back behind the scenes. You can always relaunch it. So this way you're marketing it as time sensitive.
Yeah. And then I'm working on Facebook ads again. I had just kind of been a bit lazy. Just one was working for the previous niche, like running, but I'm like obviously to do a new ad copy. I'm going to hop on the call with Kevin in a bit. Should I just basically do the same thing as last year, or should I run multiple different ad copies and try a bunch of different things?
Well, what's the lead magnet?
The lead magnet is just one. It's very similar, but it's just like I've changed the wording.
And so what is your ads budget?
Like $20 a day. I can do that for a little bit.
So with $20 a day, there's really not a lot of testing you can do.
Okay.
Right? So I would say for now, given that your budget is only $20 a day, I would just do the exact same thing that you did last time and just put up the ad until you can get cost per lead between $2 to $7.
And that takes time, right?
What do you mean it takes time?
Like, because it's a brand new pixel and it's a brand new niche.
You're basically going into the Zero to Clients Content Hub and you're running this as if it was new. So you'll do the priming ad and then you'll do the lead gen. You've already done the priming ad?
Well, Kevin said I didn't have to do the priming ad because my account is the same.
Got it. Okay, so then you can just set up your lead gen. You can start it on Monday if you want to.
Yeah, it's already going. Oh. I was curious if I should try different ad copies or something.
Well, if you're getting leads for less than $10 a lead and 30% of the people are moving into your Facebook group, there's nothing really to test unless you wanted to add budget. What we don't want to do is take away budget from your $20 day lead to test.
Okay.
If you wanted to test, you would add on an extra $10 a day. And if you're not going to do that right now, then you just leave it status quo.
Okay. That's good.
So what's the plan for this? Are you going to be running a webinar? Or are you going to be like, what's the plan?
So my new webinar that I haven't done yet, Carly just sent me all her feedback. I'm doing it Monday. I got the feedback yesterday.
Nice.
I think she said it was pretty good, which is great. And I didn't have to change too much. It's just the niche is different, but the program is the same. I guess this is a question for you because the new niche is active people already, and they just want to be that way forever, or as long as they don't want to just live long. They want to have like quality and like do all the fun things, including running. How would you make that end pitch time sensitive or agitating?
Well, what's the painful problem? Like, just like, yes, it's running, but there's still a reason that they're going to pay to work with you. So what is that reason?
So my gut is telling me there's going to be different reasons. I want to run better and faster, or maybe there's an old injury that keeps happening, like a repetitive strain that's just annoying, but it hasn't stopped them in their tracks. It could, but perhaps it hasn't.
But is your program like injury rehab?
My program is mind-body connection through yoga, movement, and mindset to heal from the inside out.
What are they healing?
They're healing imbalances. They're healing weakness. They're healing, let's say, a repetitive hip strain that they keep getting. For example, that happened to me last year. It's like my injury last year really like drove what's happening right now. Like, but
I would go after that then. The niche is women who run, like injury prevention, injury recovery. That's how I would do it. How old are you?
42.
Great. Women over 40. That's amazing because once you hit that 40, running is a whole different scene.
And that's in the group name. That's in the ad copy. It's in a lot of the email sequences.
So I would say that's the problem. That's why somebody's going to pay to work with you, is because either they have an injury that's going to prevent them from running, or they want like healing, injury prevention, things like that, where it's like they don't, it's women who run. So they want to stay fit. They want to stay agile. They want to stay aligned in their bodies as they age.
So would I say my story at the end instead? Because I kind of said it in the beginning of the webinar.
Yes. So then you talk about how this came to be, that you were a physical therapist for so long. You were observing women's bodies. You used to do X, Y, and Z. And then you had an injury and it stopped you from running. And you realized like how important this is over 40 and all of these types of things. As your hormones change, it changes the elasticity of your muscles. It changes all of these types of things that's not really being talked about, right? And so that's why you are now doing this, so that you can help women as they age to stay agile and strong and aligned.
Cool. So that gives me a bit more like a concrete thing to say, right? I have a friend that we post a lot together because we run and we actually both separately qualified for the Boston Marathon. A lot of these leads are coming because she's got a bigger following on Instagram.
Okay.
She is not a health coach. She's a teacher and she's a mom of 3. She's amazing. I feel like I need to pull her in, but I don't know what it looks like. Do you have any advice about that?
Has she expressed interest in this?
She has a lot of cool ideas, and she's like, what if we start an accountability group? We've done 2 in-person pop-up run clubs in Ottawa, and we had 40 plus people show up.
Wow.
She's a magnet. I just don't know where it fits in.
What would she do? It's just the following?
Right now, yeah. Right now, it's like she gets a lot of engagement. One of her reels is over 1 million views.
You can treat her like an affiliate.
What does that look like or mean?
That means she has like do you use Flowy? Okay, so Flowy has an affiliate option. You can create a special link for her. She gives that link to people to subscribe to your lead magnet. And then your Flowy will track. And then if that person buys, you can pay her a set fee per sale.
Oh, that's so cool. So it's called affiliate, and I can just look on the Flowy technical stuff?
Yes.
Knowledge base, probably.
Yep. Or you can even go to a tech call and ask them.
Okay.
And then you can set that up. And that way she has her own
tracking.
Yeah, her own tracking. And it's like clean.
This sounds awesome. I'll ask her. Yeah.
That's good. That's a good solution. For sure.
You just have all my answers ready.
I mean, I've been around the block for a while. I've been doing this for a minute.
I can tell you what I'm really not good at. And maybe you can like help me be better at it, is that I don't know what my block is with being organized. I can't map out my year the way you kind of recommend us to do or prescribe. I'm very much like how I feel in the moment.
The only reason why I map things in advance is because I have a team and I have to get things ahead so that they can work. But I didn't always do that. We map things now a year in advance just because we can and because everything's so rinse and repeat. But I think it's an interesting thing that you just said, because I also feel like I'm not organized and I feel like I'm a hot mess, but I just have my own way of doing things. So I think you need to sort of think about how your brain works and your own way of doing things. The things that are important that need to be scheduled are your marketing campaigns, right? So at least for the quarter, when are you running your webinars? When are you going to do a program open house? The rest of it, like I still wake up in the morning and write the email. It's not scheduled. It's not thought about ahead of time. I'm like, oh, what am I promoting today? Great. I'll write an email about it.
Yeah.
Same with social media. I don't have a content plan. I make it up every day. I'm like, oh, I'll do this today.
Yeah.
I could never do that. that's not fun for me. I don't want to have to think about things like a month in advance in terms of like social. Like I need to feel it in the moment. But sometimes when you don't have a plan and you don't know what you're doing in advance, the end of the day comes and then you didn't post anything. Right. So I would say for you, maybe it's helpful to sit down week by week and map out like, okay, what are my reels going to be this week? Maybe you need to spend 2 days a month and just bang out all the content. I don't know.
Yeah. I think I just need to write down a date that I'm going to do the open house, or I'm going to do webinars. I have been doing monthly, so like that's okay. But
yeah,
that's really it. Like I haven't done even, I've done a hand raised post like twice, but I think I need to like commit to it. I feel like when I was in ZTC, Instagram wasn't a big lesson. Like it wasn't a focus.
It's not still.
Oh, it's still not. Okay.
No, but we can talk about it.
I feel like, and I don't have metrics, so I know you guys hate when we say I feel like.
You should 100% be using Instagram. The reason we don't teach it in Zero to Clients is because when you're first starting, you can't create that kind of content. They have no idea what they're doing. Like the thought of having to create a reel, oh my God, right? There's a reason that we don't teach Instagram in the 6-month Zero to Clients program. You should 100% be using Instagram.
I am. Everything I do there, I just link it to that lead magnet.
Yes, you can link it to the lead magnet. In my business, I create for Instagram and repurpose it into my Facebook group. I don't create different content for my Facebook group. I create for Instagram and then it goes into the Facebook group. So here's the way I would prefer you to think about it. What is your lead to client journey like, right? It doesn't matter if it's Instagram. It doesn't matter if it's email. It's like, what are the assets that you send to? What is the lead to client journey? So they come in through your lead magnet. Then where do you send them?
Yeah.
To go and follow you on Instagram. And then from Instagram, then where do you send them? You send them to your lead magnet. But in each post, what asset are you sending them to?
The existing email people are like 1,000, say. Their lead magnet was different. Like it
doesn't matter. Just keep them. It doesn't matter. If they're
they'll
uninterested, they'll unsubscribe. I just think you start talking about what you want to talk about.
And then they'll just leave it.
And they probably won't even notice.
Right. Okay. All right.
Anything else?
Well, I think I just have to do some work.
Yeah. Here's what I would do. I would go back and do your ideal client from scratch. Go back to that document and listen, if you haven't, to the skills labs called Magnetic Marketing Part 1 and Part 2.
I listened to Part 1.
Listen to Part 2. Take the ideal client doc and actually do it all with the current ideal client. Then you can create your content and all this stuff from, right? And map out that lead to client journey. So like, yeah, the lead magnet, and then they go to your webinar and then they book a call. What if they don't go to the webinar? How else are you getting them this content? What if they never register for the webinar?
Well, if they have the lead magnet, they're on the email list.
Yep. But what if they don't ever register for a webinar? How are you going to get them into a call?
Through posting in the group, I guess.
Right. So that's like the thing to think about, right? So that's why additional marketing campaigns are important, because if you only ever run a webinar and people don't like webinars, you might have a good chunk of people on your list who maybe would work with you, but because they never attended a webinar, they're just like getting emails and social media content.
Right. Yeah. Actually, I already know from this group, I think just actual practicing, like I just did one yesterday, quads and hamstrings, and like 2 people booked a call.
So the more you interact with these people, the more you'll see what's working. And that's what you schedule. You schedule the lives, you schedule the webinar. That then becomes the rinse and repeat stuff that you do every single month.
Okay. I feel good. I have good direction. It was already going the right direction.
That's awesome.
We hammered that out 2 weeks ago.
You're just sort of in the trial and error stage right now. See what works. Like you're doing these lives, that's booking calls. So like if you find that, you do 8 of these lives or whatever they were lives that you were doing. So let's say out of 8, 4 of them booked calls and 4 of them didn't. Then you're going to take those 4 and you're going to redo them the next quarter and you're going to test out 4 new ones, right? And then you keep repeating them because they work.
So you're actually saying the lives are the same.
I would repeat them because your audience, as long as you have a new audience, I would repeat them. And if they book calls again, guess what? The majority of your audience then suffers with that thing.
Cool.
That makes sense?
I always forget people are there, but it doesn't mean they're looking at all the videos. So
exactly.
It's not repetitive.
Not for them. It is for you. Anything else?
I'm sure I'll have more, but I'm still an EA.
Awesome.
Thank you, Lori.
You're welcome. We'll talk soon. Bye.